What's going on, everybody? Scott Lenard back here by myself again. My dad's at work. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to all my friends and family. I will be back next Friday before I go to the Orlando Magic game next Friday. So let's get into the college football and NFL predictions for the weekend. First game out tomorrow in the Hawaii Bowl, San Diego State and Middle Tennessee. I will go with San Diego State here, but I've been off to a rough start here in the bowl season, so we'll see what happens with that one. Next up, New Mexico State and Bowling Green. I will go with. I'm gonna go with New Mexico State here. I think Bowling Green's had a good season, but I think New Mexico State's a little bit better. Next up, Georgia Southern and Buffalo should be a good game on Tuesday. I will go with Georgia Southern to get the win here. I think they're a little bit better than Buffalo is right now. Next up, Memphis and Utah State. I'm going to go with Memphis. I think Memphis had a very good year inside the American this year. So I'll go with Memphis. Next up, Coastal Carolina and East Carolina. I've been telling my buddy Riley Carey this is my upset pick of the bowl season. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina to pull off the upset here. East Carolina favored by 7.5. I'll go with Coastal to get the win here. I think Coastal's been very good this year. But I would not be shocked to see East Carolina win this game. I'm going to go with Coastal to get the win in the Birmingham Bowl. Next up in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Wisconsin and Oklahoma State. I'm going to go with. I'll go with Wisconsin to get the win here. I think Wisconsin is a little bit better right now than Oklahoma State. I don't know if Spencer Sanders will be able to play after he entered the transfer portal over the last couple of weeks. Now into Wednesday, the 28th. First game out, UCF and Duke in the Military Bowl. I'm going to go with UCF to find a way to win this game. I think UCF's a good team right now. I think Duke's not used to playing in this stadium, and we are very used to playing in the stadium. We go there at least once or twice every other year. I'll go with UCF to find a way to win this game. But if not, I think it's not a great season at 9-5. I don't think that's a great season for us, but I think it's an okay season. Next up, Kansas and Arkansas. I'm going to go with Kansas to get the win here. I think Kansas had a great season. I'm going to go with Kansas to find a way to get the win here in the Liberty Bowl against Arkansas. Next up, Oregon and North Carolina. I'm going to go with Bo Nix and Oregon to get the win here. I think Drake May's been very good this year, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. I'm going to go with Oregon to get the win here over North Carolina. Next up, Texas Tech and Ole Miss in the Texas Bowl. I'm going to go with Texas Tech to get the win here. A virtual home game for Texas Tech here. I'm going to go with Texas Tech to get the win here over Ole Miss. Next up, Syracuse and Minnesota in the from Yankee Stadium in New York, the Pinstripe Bowl. I'm going to go with Minnesota to get the win here. I think Minnesota is a better team right now than Syracuse, even though Syracuse has basically a home game here for the Orange. I just don't think they're good enough right now. I'm going to go with PJ Fleck and Minnesota to get the win here on Thursday. Next up, Oklahoma and Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl from right here in Orlando, Florida at Camping World Stadium. I'm going to go with Jordan Travis and Florida State to get the win here. I think Florida State's had a much better season than Oklahoma has. Oklahoma's going to be 6-7 after this game. I'll go with Florida State to get the win here at home, basically in Orlando against Oklahoma. Next up, Texas and Washington in the Alamo Bowl. I will go with Texas to get the win here. Another virtual home game for Texas and San Antonio. I will go with Texas to get the win here over Washington. And I'll get into the rest of the predictions next week, starting on the 30th. So I'll get into those next Friday when I come back to Scott Green Sports. Now into the NFL games. Mostly all of them are tomorrow. First up, the Buffalo Bills heading into Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. 9 degrees projected tomorrow in Chicago. I will go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They proved to me last week they can win in the snow, and I think they'll do just that this week. I'll go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to get the win here on the road against Justin Fields and the Bears. Next up, Andy Dalton and the New Orleans Saints heading into freezing cold Cleveland, Ohio this week, 11 degrees. for kickoff this week in Cleveland. I will go with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns to get the win here. I think the Browns have been playing better recently. I will go with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns to get the win here at home and virtually eliminate the Saints from playoff contention this week. Next up, the Houston Texans heading into Nashville to take on the Titans. 17 degrees in Nashville on tomorrow. Would not be shocked to see the Texans win this game. They've been playing very well recently. They almost beat the Chiefs last week, and they almost beat the Cowboys the week before that. So, but I'm thinking that Derrick Henry is going to do enough this week. I know Malik Willis gets his first start tomorrow. Ryan Tannehill probably out for the season. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans to get the win here at home over the Texans. Next up, Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith, and the Seattle Seahawks heading into Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. 13 degrees tomorrow in Arrowhead. I will go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win here at home. I think the Chiefs are a much better team than the Seahawks are right now. I will go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win here on the road at home over the Seahawks. Next up, the New York Giants heading in to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis to take on the Vikings. Thank God this is the dome. This would be like 1 degree this week if it was not a dome. I'm going to go with, I guess I'll go with Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings to get the win here. I've been 50-50 on this game all week. I think the Giants can certainly win this game. I think Danny Dimes could play well against a very bad Vikings defense, but I think Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings are going to outscore the New York Giants this week. I'm going to go with the Vikings to get the win here at home over the Giants. Next up, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals coming off a miraculous win last week against the Bucs, heading into New England to take on the Pats in 18-degree weather tomorrow in Foxborough. I'll go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to get the win here. I think Burrow's been playing very well recently. Probably one of the hotter teams in the AFC right now. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to get the win here on the road over the Pats. Next up, the Detroit Lions heading into Charlotte to take on the Panthers. 27 degrees tomorrow in Charlotte. I will go with Jared Goff and the red-hot Detroit Lions to keep their playoff hopes alive here. I think Jared Goff knows they got to win out to get into the playoffs, and I think they'll do just that this week. And put the Panthers on the verge of elimination next week. So I'm going to go with the Lions to get the win here on the road in Charlotte against the Panthers. Next up, Desmond Ridder in the Atlanta Falcons heading into Baltimore to take on Tyler Huntley in the Baltimore Ravens. 19 degrees tomorrow at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. I will go with the Ravens to get the win here at home. I think the Ravens are a much better team than the Falcons. So I will go with the Ravens to get the win here and also eliminate the Falcons from playoff contention this week. Next up, the Washington Commanders heading in to San Francisco to take on the Niners. 59 degrees in San Francisco tomorrow. Finally, a game over 30 this week. I'm going to go with the Niners to get the win here. I think Brock Purdy will continue to play pretty good this year. I think the Niners will find a way to win this game. Chase Young is back, so that's good news for the Commanders, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers to get the win here at home over the Commanders. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Probably the game of the week in the NFL. But I'm going to go with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys to get the win here. I don't trust Gardner Minshew to play well enough this week to get a win for the Eagles. But that's okay because all they need is one win in their last 3 games to win this division. I'm going to go with Dak, Zeke, and the Cowboys to get the win here at home in Arlington against the Eagles. Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders heading into Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in a very emotional game tomorrow night. 11 degrees in Pittsburgh tomorrow. I'm going to go for my buddy Terry Jewell and for Franco Harris. I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the win here at home. I think the Steelers are a much better team right now than the Raiders. Steelers have been playing much better recently. I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the win here at home over the Raiders. Next up, now into the Sunday games. Three games on Christmas Day. The NFL has given us some Christmas Day gifts, but only one of them's good. The The other two games are just horrible. The only good game is on at 1 o'clock. It'll be Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers heading into Miami to take on Tua and the Dolphins. I will go with Tua and the Dolphins to get back on track. Finally, they're back at home. They need a win here to stay in the playoff hunt in the AFC. So I'm going to go with Tua and the Miami Dolphins to get the win here at home over Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Next up, it'll be Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos heading into LA to take on the Baker Mayfield and the LA Rams. This game is on CBS and Nickelodeon on Sunday. I'll probably watch the Nickelodeon coverage on this game. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos to get the win here on the road. I think Baker did not look good last week on Monday night against Green Bay. So I will go with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos to get the win here on the road in LA against the Rams. Next up in a game that I've been calling a must-win all week is it'll be Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading in to Arizona to take on Trace McSorley and the Arizona Cardinals this week. The Bucs have not won a road game since September. I think this is a must-win opportunity for us. We got to win this game, and I think Tom Brady knows that, and I think he'll get the job done this week. I'm going to go with TB12 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to finally win a road game. We've lost our last 4 road games in a row. We haven't won a road game since September, but I think we get the job done here. I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to finally get a road win on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals. Now into Monday Night Football. My fantasy matchup will probably be over by this point. Congrats to my cousin Amanda on winning fantasy football this week. I think it's basically a done deal. I don't think I have a shot this week, but we'll see what happens. As it'll be Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, and the LA Chargers heading into Indy to take on Jeff Saturday in the very bad Indianapolis Colts after that 30-point choke job they had last week over the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers to keep pace in the AFC playoff picture and keep their playoff hopes alive here with a win on the road against the Colts. And that will do it for this episode of Scott Speaking Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week, like I said, on the 30th, on Friday, so that'll be another good show. Final Scott Speaking Sports of 2022 next week. I will be back next week on Scott Speaking Sports. See you later, guys.